You know, most small businesses fail within the first year. And what I've learned in my almost 20 years of training stagers and designers, a lot of that failure happens because they did not start by creating a strong business foundation for their budding enterprise. And that foundation is essential to tapping into for motivation, passion, success, and a framework, if you will, for the many days to come for their business. So until they take that time to really self reflect, look inside at their personal, professional strengths, weaknesses, all that foundation, it's really hard to build a strong kind of home, if you will, for your business that will grow and do well. So, having trained the most successful stagers and designers in the industry, I thought I'd give you a glimpse of what is inside just our day one of my HSR staging and redesign certification training, because day one sets the foundation for success for those people's businesses that have been so successful. So, take a look. As you look to your left in your sitemap, you can see day one is probably has the most kind of mini modules of all of the days. And while it looks like a lot to go through, it's not that bad. These are a little more bite-sized than some of the other days that look like you don't have as much, but the module itself is filled with videos and resources. So going into day one, we start with your training orientation. This is where you get kind of a broad view of what to expect and how your training will look. Of course, right away, I want you to get connected into our Stagers Connect group. That's where you are going to go into that private group and be inspired. You're going to be encouraged, and you're going to get a ton of support. We also give you a free listing and membership in the American Society of Home Stagers and Redesigners. So that is a very valuable directory listing. Here's where I show you how you connect to that. And there's just a quick video on how to do that. And then I give you week one of the training manual because I know who wants to wait for a manual in the mail, even though it comes priority mailed within a week. You don't need to wait for it. You can download it right there. And here is what that overview is going to look like. This calendar will be up in front, and you'll be very well aware of it throughout each day of the training. So the overview gives you kind of that big overview. And as you typical with all of my modules, at the very bottom, I have the resources and downloads. These are your Google Docs, from the training manual to a planning checklist that you're just checking things off as you go, to your training calendar, to the site map. Next is the week one training review, or the day one, yeah, week one, sorry. Then in week one, I walk you through what to expect in week one. You can see I always have these kind of images so that you know where you're headed, where you go. Again, you can totally skip around. And this is a quick overview video to tell you what to expect. And then we jump into day one. And day one is about your getting started guide that is in your training manual. And it's just this checklist of things any business right when it gets started needs to do right in the beginning to be successful. So I walk you through that and the getting started guide, and you learn kind of what you're going to learn. It's really about focusing on yourself, your strengths, developing that business plan, how to work with your calendar. I have a video on that. We give you an example calendar where you can see kind of how you would kind of structure and make goals. And then of course your blank calendar where you can set your schedule, working around your work. If you have a full-time job like so many members do, this is where they decide kind of when they're going to go into the training. And what's really funny is everyone always tells me they can't put the training down. They love it, so they're staying up till all hours of the night. Don't do that. I want you to get plenty of rest, especially if you're working, but do try and keep to a reasonable schedule for yourself. I give you an example one, but there's plenty that you can just set your own schedule because this is self-paced. In the Getting Started Guide, Researching Your Market, I walk you through how you do a little basic research on your market. Who is in your area? What stagers and designers? What do you like about their websites? What kind of services are they offering? What do they look like? What are the keywords they talk about? How can you look different? Maybe find a unique kind of selling proposition using your background and reinventing your background going into this. What's going to be your story, your mission, your About Us page? This is where we develop that. So key. This kind of marketing these days is all about you. It's all about personal. It's all about branding. And here's where I kind of walk you through it. And then the next section, we look at logos. I actually show you in the quickest 8-minute video how you can make your own logo on Canva. Canva being one of my free resources. It's free marketing online where you're going to create a lot of your marketing materials. But by the way, see all these cute logos here? I give you all of these logos in Canva, so you actually have professional logos that you can just put your new business name in, print, go, logo, done on day one. Imagine doing your business logo on day one, and we give you over 50 logos to choose from. And then we talk about your systems for success. That's got to start with that on day one. How do you organize your folders? How do you, really understand yourself? How do you create systems in your business for efficiency? So this section kind of gets you started on that. And then we cap off the day with champagne, because it's where you're researching your business name that you're really interested in and reserving the domain. That's super exciting for you. Now, you may not need to do that on day one, but you can always put a pin in it and do it later. But we try and have that on your schedule because we want you to stay motivated and enjoy that. And then finally, the design module for the day is a video filled with tons of before and after photos where I show you how to stage occupieds. It's a long, almost an hour-long video that walks you through the intro to the design modules and then how to stage, looking at people's work and photos and how they tackle that. And that is just day one.